Rise up, Guardian.
In this video, I wanted to break down how I made a Destiny fan film at the BOR Forest in the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, and I wanted to go through the behind the scenes about how I went about planning it and filming it, and how I'm going into the post-production with animating all the assets, putting it together and making it essentially my first major project for my platform on YouTube here when it comes to creating my own, other fan films and creating my own sort of style of content when it comes to my sort of niche. And in this video, I wanted to break down also why I did it and what prompted me to essentially just not wait for permission, not wait for a prompt, not wait for anyone else's help. I just got in my car with my own gear, got out there, filmed it all, and now I'm in the process of making it all happen and editing it, animating the assets, and so this is the story about that. This is the journey about that and everything that I've learned along the way. So first things first, I wanted to create something that was in my realm of scope. So whatever my resources were, whatever my resources allowed me, I wanted to make something that wouldn't be too over the top. That's something that wouldn't, be too challenging, especially for me on my own. I knew that I did have some filmmaking friends that I could call upon, but I wanted to essentially make this a solo project. I wanted to just challenge myself, make it happen, and just see how I went with it. Excuse my stutter there. So for those of you who've been following along, you know that I've been learning Blender and learning how to become a filmmaker / VFX artist, and have that combination over the last year. And over the last year, I've been learning pretty much how to model and how to texture and light and everything like that in Blender, which has been a lot of fun. But I wanted to really challenge myself, and I wanted to jump into the VFX side of things with my filmmaking. So I wanted to put in a lot more effort when it came to mixing my real life footage and 3D assets. And instead of trying to make it absolutely perfect, I wanted to just give it a really good red hot crack. And however it turns out, that's how it turns out. And that'll be a baseline that I can use and that I can revisit that project in the future. So why did I pretty much just jump in my car with all my gear and go and film a Destiny fan film? So for most of my life, I've always wanted to be a creative, my entire life. I have watched others who go and take the initiative and take their cameras and their friends and their skills, and they go and create awesome content, and they grow and they build, and it's so phenomenal and inspiring to see. And I kept thinking, what am I waiting for? Why am I waiting for someone else's permission, or why am I waiting for the right circumstances or the right situation when I can literally just write what I wanted to do? I can get in my car, I can find the location, and I can get out there and I can make it happen. And that's essentially what I did, because there's a certain burnout in how do I word this? There's a certain burnout in constantly spinning your tires trying to make what you want happen. It's so interesting, because when you're constantly pushing shit uphill and you're constantly trying to get to where you want to be, you spend so much time in this planning or preparation phase that you never actually get into the action phase. And there's a certain burnout in that you just sort of get a little bit, not angry, but you get a little bit resentful for your own dreams, because you're spending all this time trying to make things happen, and it just seems to pass you by. So the reason why I just got in my car with my gear, got out there and just filmed it myself, is because I knew that I could make it happen. I knew that I trusted myself enough that I could find a location with the idea that I'd written down, and I could just have fun. And that's probably more importantly what I wanted to do, was to just have fun. I didn't want it to be super serious. I didn't want it to be something that I had to feel pressure, like I was trying to display it or present it to somebody, except for my audience here and to you. I wanted it to just be fun, and I wanted to just have it as a baseline, like a standard where I can come back to in the future and make it again and make it better, and I can reflect on that and show the contrast from level 1 to whatever level I'm at when I come back to it. So I knew I wanted to just make a simple first resurrection scene where right at the start, when all of us turned the game on. When we first saw the ghost going through the junkyard of the Cosmodrome, we all saw it. And it came closer, the ghost came closer, and eventually it found us and it resurrected us and we got into the gameplay. We all remember it, whether you picked the game up 12 years ago or you picked it up last week, it's all there. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to create a first resurrection. So I sat down, I knew I wanted to have a setting of a pine tree forest. I wanted pine needles at the base of the flooring. I wanted pine trees. I wanted that sort of debris. I wanted the sunshine coming through the branches. I wanted the dead tree look, the dead bark look. I wanted all of that. And I knew I could find it up north in the Sunshine Coast here in Queensland. I could find the aesthetic that I wanted, probably about just over an hour north of Brisbane. I'm on the Gold Coast, so it was about just over 2 hours for me. So I went to Biawar State Forest, and out there there's a bunch of pine tree forests or pine tree farms that are out there for construction, and you're able to go in there and you're able to do your own thing, as long as you're respectful, as long as you don't litter and don't be a dickhead. That's the main thing. One thing I did notice about is how much littering was out there. That just annoyed the fuck out of me. So I picked up a few things, but I didn't have any gloves, so I didn't want to touch too much. But I picked up a few things, but that was a little anecdote there anyway. I knew I could find it out there. So when I got out there, I just drove around and I just kept going till I found the right spot. And the first things first was being safe, because even though we're in winter here in Australia, there are still snakes about, there are still spiders, ticks, there are still, an assortment of things that are in the Australian bush that will ruin your day really quickly or put an end to your day pretty quickly. So that was the first thing. And I ended up coming across this spot, which was just a beautiful open clearing. It had a beautiful stump there. It was perfect. It was right near the road. I could see my car the whole time and it was perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. I found it. I got to work. From there, I had my shot list. I had it all written down, a shot list, what I wanted. I knew I wanted some drone shots to have my establishing shots. I wanted to make that more of kind of like the big thing. That's where I really wanted to challenge myself, was the big scenes where I had the Traveller, I had the Cosmodrome wall, I had fallen airplanes, I had junk, I had, debris and growth. And I had all these things in my mind. I could see it so clearly in my head. And that's what I wanted to start off with. So I got those shots. I got them with the drone. I've got a DJI Mini SE drone. It only shoots in 2.7K. It shoots in like 1080p and stuff like that as well, but it only shoots in 2.7K. And the footage is really good. Like, it actually turned out really, really well. I was really happy with how it turned out. So I'm gonna one thing I definitely need to do is get a 4K drone eventually in the future. But I got those shots. I've been working hard on that. A massive challenge that I've found is tracking drone shots. I definitely didn't film in a VFX tracking or a motion tracking friendly way. I thought it was a bit jittery. I was a bit fast, but I found a way to get into it. I've had some luck and some success comparing my my VFX in my first few shots to like professionals and things like that. It's night and day. Hey, like, you can see why VFX artists are so amazing at what they do and how they make these scenes look so lifelike and so perfect, and they integrate them so beautifully into real footage. Because when you look at mine, it's so rudimentary and raw and just terrible, and I understand that it's my learning phase and it's what I'm doing and all that stuff, but it's funny to look at, because you're like, oh, I can see it in my head and it's going to look like this. I'm going to create overgrowth and I'm going to do this and I'm going to have this here, and then you see it and you're like, yeah, that looks like shit. So it's funny to go through that, but again, it's all the learning process. I can't wait to revisit this project and say like a year or two time in a year's or two. Anyway, I'm trying to say something. Anyway, but yeah, so I got those first two shots and it looks great. It looks fantastic. And then I wanted to get a lot more of my intimate sort of front on sort of shots, where I was able to get into the forest with my camera and get the shots that I wanted, where I wanted to have things like the ghost flying through the trees, scanning certain things. A massive challenge I'm about to undertake, I haven't gotten to this scene yet, but a massive challenge I'm about to undertake is having the Ghost scan things. So creating the scan for starters is really hard, but having it scan like a tree and making the scan react to the tree, that's going to be a good challenge, which I can't wait to undertake. And I wanted the Ghost to just integrate seamlessly into the footage, where it was sort of like, scanning different things, moving around. It never really stays in the one place for too long. And eventually it finds me. And anyone who's played Destiny, they know that we are our guardian in the game. We are our guardian. That's what we love. That's why we choose either the Titan, Warlock, or Hunter. We know that we can identify with that sort of character type, and we love its play style, and that's what we do. And that's just how we are as guardians. And I wanted to have the Ghost, fly through and double take, and there I am, and it wakes me up, and we have this little interaction, and it's all good. And then I love the idea of the last shot being my hand out, and the Ghost is above my hand, and we go to orbit. I wanted to have the orbit, UI there, the controls, and I'm on Xbox, so it would be hold Y for me, or hold triangle for PlayStation players, or I'm not too sure what the PC one is actually. So, but yeah, that was what I wanted to do. It was simple. It was probably going to be about 90 seconds at most, but brother, let me tell you, making a 90-second full of 3D assets and VFX short film is challenging. And I was a little bit ignorant in the fact that I was like, I can turn this around in a week. That was my thought. Like, I can make it happen in a week. I spent an entire day yesterday. So I modeled, just to roll on back for a second. So for this film, I got stuck into animating all the assets. So I actually sat down and I made the Traveler. And I'm not gonna lie, I am so proud of how the Traveler turned out. Basically what I did was I found a 4K photo or an image saved from Pinterest of the Traveler. And I got Blender open, and I basically just brought it up, went through to X-ray mode, took a knife tool to the sphere, and just went to town carving it out with the knife. And it was so much easier than I thought it was going to be. I looked at the Traveler and I thought, how the hell am I going to model that? It looks so beautiful and complex and great, and just like it was hand carved, and it looks so good. But then when I got to work, I was like, actually, you know what? I'm actually finding a lot of luck. And it just instilled so much more confidence in me to do that. The more that I kept making it look better and better and better. And then eventually when I got to the final result, I was like, you're kidding me. This looks so good. I used a circle, just a circle primitive, and I gave it some geometry. And then after I gave it some geometry, I just pretty much duplicated it, probably at least 2 or 3 dozen times. I would duplicate it a couple times at one scale and then rotate it. And then I would, all the 6 or 7 of the circle that I just did, I would duplicate it again, scale it smaller, rotate it. And I just did that a couple of times, and eventually it just turned out looking great and looks so good. From there, I knew I wanted to have downed planes. So what I did was I found a plane blueprint from Pinterest, and I knew that I wanted to have some growth on there. So it was gonna be like an old rusty kind of plane with some growth. And I was going to use some plants and some debris and some dry bush and stuff like that. So that's what I did. I got that, and it turned out great. I couldn't believe how good this plane turned out. It looks so flippin' flamin' good. I did use a couple of add-ons. I used Geoscatter, which I got for Blender, which is only $99. And then you got a bunch of biome libraries, which is really good as well. I'm still learning how to use that. It's pretty difficult to use, I'm not going to lie. Because once you've added something, I haven't figured out how to edit that layer of scattered objects across the plane or whatever, or the object. It's a bit confusing, but I'm still trying to figure it out. Once I got that, I was able to get the plane. Then I had a plane which was rusty and looked great. I was going to use it for a plain boneyard, and then I put some growth on there. That's what I had for secondary, and it was great. I loved how it turned out. I also made a bit of a fallen overpass. So I made a kind of like a highway overpass sort of scene, or an asset that I could use to put into the scene. And it looked pretty good. Like, I was pretty happy with how it turned out. I did use a damage add-on for Blender as well, which was only like $2. and it's really good because it adds in node-based damage into and it bakes it into the model. So when you put it on, you can adjust the scale, you can adjust the amount of damage, and where the damage is located, like if you want it more down one end or the other end, whichever way, it works really, really well. So I was really happy with that add-on. So I used that, and I used a couple of other asset libraries that I had to scatter some things on there, as well as some brush, as well as some growth. So it shows like that forest is retaking things. And once I got it all made, it was definitely more of a challenge making it feel like it was in the scene. And I'm not even surprised at that, because I knew it was going to be a challenge, but I didn't realize how much of a challenge it was going to be. But yeah, so that's where I'm at right now with this Destiny short film. So a little 90-second Destiny short film project that I wanted to get onto, because I wanted to take on all the responsibility myself, because I wanted to just prove to myself that I could do it. And I wanted to just show that I could do it, because this is just the first project of many projects. I've got so many projects in mind that I want to do. I've got projects which are, VFX versus practical. I've got projects I want to do where I'm working with other professional Blender or VFX artists, and we can have a bit of a competition to pit our styles against each other. And that's what I'm looking forward to, because I want this to be like a big step in the right direction, where to make it feel more real for me. Because it's one thing for this to be an idea, to be a fantasy. It's another thing to actually follow through and make it happen, and you actually have something to show for your efforts and your work. That's what's most important for me. And that's what's always going to be most important for me, because as someone who, going through high school, you would I feel so different because everyone around me wants to go to the trades or go to the mines or, do these mainstream jobs. All I wanted to do was pick up a camera and go and film things. That's all I wanted. And now that I'm in this position, after so many years of putting it off, that I'm like, I just got to grab a camera, go and do it, and believe in myself. It's so much deeper ingrained in me to do this, because it makes it, again, like I said, real. It makes it feel like I am that person that I've always wanted to be, and that's what's most important. I look at it now, and it's almost like a proving ground. This is like my proving ground, where I can go and do the pre-production, where I go and write down what I want. I can go and vision it. I can get the mood boards all together. Then I can take my camera, go to the location, get the shots, get the assets ready, put them all together, and here you have a project that is full from 0 to 100% by me. And that's what I want. And that's what I'm working on now. So yeah, it's not just a simple project of a video, like, oh, it's a video, hey, people like it. It's a video that me 10x amount of years ago would be gobsmacked of what we're doing, that we're actually doing this. And that's what's most important, and I can't wait to see where it goes with this, because there's so much left to do. There's so much left to uncover, to explore, to experiment with. And that's what I'm so excited for. So yeah, that's essentially my, how I went and why I went and filmed a Destiny short fan film on my own. And I'm still working on it. I've got so much left to go. I've got a few things that I really want to get done today and this week and everything like that. I want to also implement that I've found more success in failing than I have in procrastinating and just sitting around wishing that it would happen. And it's something that I never thought I'd say, that I found more success in failure. But I did, and I have, and I am. And that's completely okay. It's completely fine that that's what's going on. Because the amount of times that I've gone and to do something and I just never ended up doing it at all, because I was probably too scared or didn't want to be seen as someone who couldn't do it. Because, little side story here, when you go to film school, you learn how to be a filmmaker. You learn how to do script writing, cinematography, lighting, sound design. You know how to do, blocking, and as a director and editing and so much stuff, that when you get out of film school, anything you put out, people immediately judge you in this manner of like, I thought you went to film school. I thought it was going to be good. Like you just walk out of film school like the best filmmaker ever to live. And I think that's something that really hit me hard was when I wasn't putting out things that were the best ever, that people were like, oh, didn't you go to film school? Weren't you, aren't you supposed to be a filmmaker? Like, yeah, I am. And this is where I'm at right now, and I'm getting better every single day. And that's what's what I mean by the success and failure. That's where I'm at now. I'm going to wrap it up there. If you've made it this far, I really hope that you have enjoyed the video. I cannot wait to to show you the finished product next week. And that's what I'm giving myself, that deadline, rain, hail or shine. It will be posted next Monday at 6 a.m. and I cannot wait for you to see it. It'll be called Destiny First Resurrection. And I'm very excited, which is going to be great. Hello there. What I'm going to do every single video is I'm going to check in with you. So one thing that I know that we can all struggle with is our mental health, and we can all struggle with things like feeling a little bit lost or alone or a bit, self-conscious and things like that. I know I do. And I wanted to put a section in every single one of my videos where I'm reaching out to you, the viewer, the audience, where checking in on you. I hope you're doing great. I hope you're having a great week and that you're working on all the things that you're wanting to work on. And I hope that you're looking after yourself. Maybe getting out there and getting some sunshine. You're getting out there and having some social time with your friends or your family, or anything like that. And I hope that whatever you're doing, that you're looking after yourself, that you're happy, and that's what's most important. You can always reach out to me. You can reach out to me through the comment section, or you can reach out to me, on Instagram, Mitch.Lippy, and I'll always have time for you. I'll always have time to say good day and to check in with you and see what's going on with you. And you can ask me any question, and I'll ask you questions, and you can just share some stories, whatever you want. I'll always be there to help out for you, for the audience member, and for this community, which I'm growing, which I can't wait to see more of. But apart from that, I'm going to leave it there, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next one.